there was a moment when Bill and Star were just kind of working out their relationship. And Star was kind of filling in for Bill, and that's the reason I chose Star, because he's a pretty honest horse. Now, I did say pretty honest. I didn't say he was honest to a fault. He's pretty honest, but he's also clever. And so what started to happen there is Star was kind of filling in for Bill, and Bill was doing a really good job, and Star was starting to kind of check Bill out, so to speak, and say, I wonder if I really have to work quite this hard. Because if I had my druthers, I'd really rather stand over there by my buddy Rusty. And I'm just going to see if it's an option. Because I'm feeling this guy, and maybe he's not quite as the leader sometimes as Lester is. Because Lester, he'll just make me keep going by. I've been giving Bill the benefit of the doubt, but it's worth testing. So I mentioned probably when he was going to leave us that this horse was going to be looking like somebody pushing a cooked spaghetti noodle. I think we get the idea. And so what it is the mind of the horse is really not locked up with the rider, and the rider's like, well, he's not doing what I'm asking him. And so here's where that leadership comes in, and now Bill's got to earn it. Prepare your right rein, or left rein, please. Anytime you can kind of scratch your rib cage and pull on him at the same time, your reins are probably too long. Now, this horse has kind of lost a little bit of respect for you. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but what he's forcing you to do is now earn respect. See, all he wants to do is come to me. So when he gets right here, I want you to go ahead and raise your legs about a foot, slap him, and surprise him a little bit, because he's not going to expect that coming from you. And again, remember, your legs are more important than your reins. And again, and he's almost thinking about going somewhere. And again, surprise him with those legs. Then when he goes somewhere, push your hands forward and say, thank you, sir. Be prepared to say, thank you, sir, with those hands. Now surprise him. Surprise him with your feet. There you go, good. Now you are in charge for a little bit. Just enjoy the ride. Lower and quieter with the hands. Longer with the reins. That's excellent, Bill. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Don't pull on him to turn. Remember that left leg in number 3 can turn him. Now you can, but it's not your dominant 8. Now he's ready for a trot. He really is ready for a trot right there. Good. Now go with the horse. Don't make him go with you. Think Little Rock, Big Rock. You're Little Rock, he's Big Rock. If you want to learn harmony, don't let him stop over here. If you want to learn harmony, no matter how big a rock you are, you're still not as big as the horse. Get with him. So wherever he will go freely, you go there. Within reason. You can't go into the fence and you can't go into me. Surprise him with those legs. He doesn't believe you, you will actually surprise him. Now stretch that heel down towards the ground. Stretch that heel down towards the ground and surprise him. Even if he goes, "Pooh," and you kind of surprise him a little bit, that was quite kind. That was quite kind. Yes. Oh, now he's starting to actually think you mean it. That's still pretty kind, though. Careful you don't have the emergency brake on. Now, his attitude just changed right there. Don't do anything. Pay him for the change in attitude, because that's how you train a horse. You got a change in attitude, you say, thank you. So you go to your sweet spot, which is where you want to ride the rest of your life. Drop your heels a little bit. Just let him relax. Good. Keep driving him, though. Make sure that emergency brake is not creeping up tighter and tighter. Now remember, you're with him more than he's with you at this point. So now prepare a little bit to go to the right. A little bit. Well, that was some, but that's good. Now surprise him with those legs. Yeah. See the difference in respect, Bill? Now you can ask for a trot right now and pay his head, pay his reins, ask him for a trot, and then surprise him a little bit, and you'll be amazed how his respect starts to come up. Yes, sir. Now the horse is going to the bathroom because he's a little bit nervous, but he's a little bit nervous because he's like, this guy's actually in charge. Excellent. Lower with your hands. There you go. Good. Keep a little bit of bend in those elbows. Now prepare to go right. Prepare to go right. Good. Now just keep going right. Now see if you can make your circle a little bit bigger. So anytime you find your hands are really way out there, you probably didn't prepare. And if you find them curling up like a crunchy French fry, you probably prepared too much. So let's give him a little slack in the rein department and ask for a trot. As you get over here near us, prepare to go the way that he's already prepared to go. So if you feel him drifting left, don't ask him to go right, go left. That's the little rock, big rock syndrome. So you're gonna look like a master rider here, Bill, because you're gonna ask him to go where he's already thinking about going. And we're gonna think, wow, him and that horse, they're really one. But it's the little rock getting with the big rock, so you learn harmony. You're actually too short on the reins. There. Now ask him to go where he would like to go, and you sit up there and look like a champ. Wonderful. Now look to the right a little bit. Good. That's all you need to do. Now ask him to trot again. So you're looking to the right still, and he's still going to the right. So, you know, careful that you don't, overdo something. Surprise him with those legs. He doesn't think you mean it. That was quite nice. Surprise him with those legs, but don't try to use your reins more than your body. Prepare to the left. Okay, now, we kind of got ourselves back in that sticky spot where he won the debate earlier today. He said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to get between these two cones, and I'm not going anywhere. So you're going to have to earn your way out of there by influencing his movement to leave there. Right there is the attitude change. Now you can trot. Don't do anything different with your hands. Just put them a little closer together. See how easy the trot was? Good. Now prepare left. Little bit. So prepare left before the neck rein. Now surprise him with those legs. Right leg is guarding in position 1. Remember, this is a guardrail now. But don't readjust, because if you're readjusting, paying him for being here, he's not ever going to leave. Now you probably got him in too much of a bind with the reins, but please don't readjust, because if you readjust, just reduce the amount of bend. Just reduce it, but don't give it all back to him. And just relax the right hand, good. It doesn't have to go all the way down, but it doesn't need to be way up here. Just lay it on his neck, just lay the right rein on his neck. And you can kind of come over his neck a little bit, but it's okay for him to stop right here. Now he's being paid in his mind, but you're not giving the rein back to him. But he knows that he's being paid. So what we're doing is we're losing a little bit of our authority and leadership. So what you're going to have to do is just earn it back. Now once I have a horse really bent up, remember how we talked about the one rein stop? Guess what that looks like to him? One rein stop. And he's in a stop. So what you got to do is say, thank you, brother, but I'm not going to release this, but I am going to reduce the bend a little bit to where it's not a one rein stop, it's actually now a turn to the left. So reduce the bend. Now that's plenty. Now look over there towards the trees and see if you can get him to go somewhere. Now he's probably not going to buy it because we've paid him by letting him sit here with us. So you're going to have to earn your way out of here. But that's kind of horse training. Yep. So you just take that right hand and lay it on there like a neck rein. So just like this. Perfect. And look, I'm not even touching him. Yeah, that's good right there. Go ahead and lay that left leg in 3 and keep that amount of contact. And when you get his hip to move, micro pay him. So don't pay him the whole paycheck because he hadn't done all the work. Pay him about $1. So that means you're going to remove your leg for a moment. Then you're going to ask for another amount of work. Don't worry about the right leg. It's just passively guarding. It's not a dominant aid. Your dominant aid is your left leg 3. But you can see he doesn't believe you because that's what happens when we ask for something and then we say it's not working, I'm going to give it back to him. So left leg 3. Harder. Harder. I can see him thinking, but nothing's really changing. So go ahead and bump him with left leg 3. More. And we're going to micro pay him, but we're not going to give him the whole paycheck because he hadn't done anything just because he moves his hip. Bump him. Bump him. When he moves, then he gets a micro pay. When he moves, kick him, kick him, kick him, kick him. See, I can see his right eyes looking at me. But here's the deal. We've started this. Now we got to kind of commit to it. And go ahead and surprise him with that left leg. Surprise him. Yeah, like hard. And you're a real gentleman, and I appreciate that. But he's not being a gentleman. Now kick him with both legs. Good. See, you're surprising him. Now micro pay, kick him again. Micro pay, kick him again. Now both legs too, surprise him. Harder. Harder. I think he thinks you mean it. Now prepare the right rein. Good. Now the left. Now forward. Now prepare the left. Now surprise him with those legs. Okay, now Bill, you got the parking brake on with the right rein. Good. He's got to have the freedom to go somewhere. Now you got the fence there, so you don't need to bend him to the left. So now just ask him to go forward, and if he hits the fence, I promise you he'll go to the left. So go straight forward. Turn your right toe in. This is a crafty horse. He's seeing if he can maybe just use the fence to get you off. He's saying, Bill, I can't go forward. The fence is in the way. And it's like, oh yeah? So take your right hand around and whack him on just. But honestly, he's bent too much to go forward. So just bend him a little bit to the left. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, he's going to take my leg off. But he knows that you're thinking that, so he's like, well, I can get over here and just sol up and stop. Yep, you're making some headway now. Now to the left. Now to the left. Now to the left. Now to the left. Good. Now pay him. You just earned a little bit of leadership. Now a little bit to the right. Not much. That's little bit. Little bit. Little bit more. Little bit more. Right there. Now surprise him with your legs. Good. Now prepare to the left. Prepare to the left. Now I'm going to help you right here. So now prepare to the left. Prepare to the left. We're paying him the whole time you're stopping there. We're paying him because that's where he wanted to go. Remember? Surprise him. 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 Now let him go somewhere. Let him go somewhere. Now go as far away from me as you can. Harder. Harder. Good. Now to the left. You see how long that left hand is? You need to probably now please don't pay him here. Whatever you do, just keep going. I'm going to come in there and bump you off balance. Because he's gotten real comfortable kind of getting stuck over here, so your legs need to have a little bit more surprise element. Surprise him. Surprise him. He's not surprised by that. There you go. That surprised him. Now to the left. Good. Now pay him with the reins. Good. Now enjoy the ride. You just earned a little bit of respect. That's the tough part, is working our way through those sticky spots when the horse has our number. One thing you'll hear me say a lot when I'm working with horses and working with the riders is pay him right there. And what I mean by I'm kind of emotional that the horse gets rewarded right there, because the horse did something worthy of being rewarded for. And by reward, for people, it'd be a paycheck. We show up for a week or 2 weeks, we work, we'd like to get paid. We're probably not going to show up and work really hard forever, unless it was an understanding going into that we wasn't going to get rewarded or paid. And so by nature, horses are into pressure. Sometimes we'll touch a horse when they're young, or we're loading them in the trailer and we want them to step over, and they actually lean right back into us. And that's by nature. Some horses, most all horses, until they've had some training, will be into pressure creatures. And what we'd like to do is retrain them, not retrain them, but communicate with them in such a way so we can apply a pressure, whether it's the snaffle bit or the curb bit or the leg or the partition of a trailer, and we can touch them in such a way that they can move off the pressure. We give them a little micro reward, a little paycheck, and then we pay them. In other words, remove that pressure for just a little bit so the horse understands it's like, oh, that's what you wanted. And then, you put a little leg on and the horse moves away. Well, don't just keep your leg on there, because the horse is like, I don't get paid for anything. But take your leg off a little bit. So pay him, reward him. And I don't know, it's a unique, quicker way for me to say something that makes sense. So pay him, but in horse language, which is remove the pressure that caused him to move in the first place. Go ahead and pick up a trot. Now remember the little rock, big rock. You're not, you're not doing figure eights and sliding stops and everything. You're just trying to develop harmony with your horse. So kind of have an idea of where he's going to go, and that's pretty much where you're going to ask him to go, unless it's right here to the dying spot. This is where he wants to be, is over here. Now what he's doing is he's saying, well, option B is the other gate. So probably a little over control with the reins there. There, that's better. Now would be a good time to pick up a trot. Now prepare to the right. And surprise him with your feet and keep the trot. Now don't do too much with the right. Now just try to ride straight. Pay him with the reins. Now would be a good time to pick up a trot. But you're going to have to surprise him. Now would be a good time to look right. Now would be a good time to trot. Lower with your hands. Remember, your feet are more important than your hands. Now would be a good time to go to the right. Now surprise him. Yes, sir. Surprise him. Now pay him more with the reins. Pay him more. See, there's an attitude change there, which he's actually willing to go. Now look to the right. Keep trotting. That's what we wanted right there. Keep trotting. Excellent. Look to the left. But don't lose your momentum, because if you do too much with the reins, he's gonna walk. Now you better surprise him, because he's coming back to the sticking place. Yes, sir. That looked good. Now pay him and ask for a trot. So you're starting to get your respect back now, or he's starting to get his respect back for you. Now you see the horse's frame is getting longer. His head's kind of getting a little bit more intent about going somewhere. The horse is starting to respect his leadership, but he had to go through that little phase of earning it. Prepare to go left. Little bit. Not just have fun, but you really need to surprise him with those legs. But don't stop. Please don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. This is the one place in the world you can't stop, right here. Because if you do, we'll talk about it, but if you stop here, this is paying him for being a naughty boy. You can stop anywhere else in the world you want to, but not here. Because this is his place in the arena that he wants to clock out. So sometimes we'll hear people talk about, always riding with light hands and always being soft and always being, it almost becomes kind of mystical sometimes. And we kind of get the impression that you have to just be this super soft kind of light fairy-ish kind of a mystical sensory being. I think sometimes that might capture the essence of what's conjured up sometimes. But really, to get that relationship and that respectful kind of interchange between you and your horse, sometimes your horses can be a bit challenging, and sometimes some of those real confident, strong-minded horses, they'll challenge you. And you need to be able to have a firm softness or a soft firmness about who you are, what you stand for, and what you want out of life for you and that horse. Because really, we want the best thing out of life for that horse and for us. We know how he's bred, we know what his predispositions are, we know what he's designed for, and it's our job to be a good steward of him. And sometimes that means shaping him in such a way that might not be laying on the couch watching TV all night long and skipping school the next day. So sometimes we need to say, hey Sonny, get up, wash your face, brush your teeth, take out the trash and go to bed. And they may just roll their eyes, I don't feel like taking out the trash. And my job is to change the way my son feels about taking out the trash. But because I love him. That's the same thing about these horses. Since I love them and I want what's best for them, I've got to be a faithful steward of that. So in order for me to get that nice light relationship that you'll see most oftentimes, highlighted in video highlights and everything like that, you'll see it in the books, you'll see it everywhere. You don't spend a lot of highlight reels on, all the other stuff. But there has to be a fair counterbalance to that. It can't only be soft, effervescent, emotional lightness. There has to be something that helps to develop that and build that. And what it is, it's a reliable, trustworthy, firm, confident, worthy of being followed leader. Now would be a good time to pick up a nice quiet trot, Bill. Let those heels stretch down towards the ground. You can surprise him, bump him. His frame looks really good. Yours looks pretty good. Don't be afraid to use your voice. And don't worry too much about where he's going, because then that confuses him. Just let him go somewhere kind of pretty. So your feet are now starting to develop a pretty predictable rhythm with him. See if you can kind of get your feet to do something besides just kind of a real predictable rhythm. Because once it gets to be a predictable rhythm, he can get pretty dull to that. Where would you like to go? Look there. Now you probably need to surprise him because he's pretty comfortable right there. And as long as he's comfortable, he's not going. And that's probably the one rein stop. There you go. Now go ahead and use your voice. That was good. You got one good step. Now don't overbend him, because that makes it really hard to go. So let's just get out here in the middle, Bill, and we'll talk about what's happening. But you got to get to the middle. Okay, Bill, watch my feet. Bill, watch my feet. See if you can lift them that high and then surprise him. Yes. That actually made a difference. Now do it again. And again. Now don't get too predictable, but he would like to try it. See, you're not being mean. You're not being mean at all. You're just being a leader. Star's not like a horse that's kept in a barn and kept tuned up and ship shape, you know, and is ready for the next rider. Star is actually a horse that was born with Rusty, his buddy, born on the same day, same ranch, Cody, Wyoming. They've been together like this every day of their life. Flew over to Hawaii together, live every day in the pasture together. When I ride them, I ride one, lead the other one. So it wouldn't be unusual for Star to kind of want to hang out with Rusty when he thinks the job might be getting a little bit boring. So he's a pasture horse. He hangs out, he grazes in the pasture, and he gets ridden randomly. But he's a safe horse, and he's pretty stoic. But he needs to be reminded sometimes that we're working on a project here, and we need you to kind of come along, brother. And he's like, well, I've kind of come along long enough. I think I'm going to go hang out with Rusty. There's nothing wrong with that. He's entitled to his rights, but we're not going to override his sense of self-preservation. It's not like we're scaring him, but we do need to up his game and kind of get with us and kind of meet us halfway on some of these things. And that's where we have to kind of take that ranch horse or pasture horse that maybe has had a little bit of, what would the term be, vacation time. And he knows that it's a better gig out there just grazing and hanging out with Rusty than it is working for a living. And we take him and bring him up and we ride him 3 or 4 days in a row, and he's like, well, I don't know if this is really a better deal or not, because I was perfectly happy just being like the pasture horse. But he knows how to go, stop, turn, and he knows all those things. But he still needs to have leadership when we ride him, because he's not necessarily going to just volunteer to be a saint. He's going to still be a horse. And so as beautiful as they are and wonderful as they are, we still kind of have to pay our dues sometimes when we get them up out of the pasture and expect them to kind of maybe not necessarily want to just volunteer and join the Peace Corps. He still wants to be a horse. Okay. So remember, the aids are not separate, but they are in inferred order. And first is proprioception, weight, driving, reins. Notice reins comes after driving. Our tendency as humans, as tool users, this is our tool. I want to do everything with my tool. But my driving aids is more important. My intent is more important. My weight is more important. So that's why I want to get to a point today to where you can influence the horse's way of going more than where he goes. And that's why sometimes I'll say, don't pay him, don't let him die here, because then the way of going is he goes to a sticky spot and he just chooses to die on you. So it doesn't matter to me if he's going around here, you know, and where he's going. as long as he looks pretty doing it, because then you're kind of getting with him and you're riding a walk and a trot. We'll probably even canter a little bit before the day is over. But you kind of have to have a sense of where he would like to go within reason. And the within reason part means he can't come and stop right here next to me and say, I refuse to work. Because then we're not a leader if we don't have an influence over that. And so what we want to do is earn leadership. And here's how we earn leadership, is we influence all movement. And movement is life to a horse. But remember, it's not reins first. We're tool users, but they're animals of movement and flight. And so what we want to do is use that flight to our advantage. So then let's don't be so aggressive with our tool. Let's be more aggressive with our weight and our driving aids. If it gets a little sticky and you feel like you're going up a speed bump in a 4-cylinder, use a little voice aid. Help him a little bit. So now let's just see if we can get some fluid, harmonious walk and trot. And I don't really care where as much as how. So if it feels good, chances are it looks good. You can come right through here, but what you're not going to do right through here is you're not going to pay him and you're not going to relax. So go ahead and help him a little bit with the reins, just so you don't get yourself in trouble. But remember, little bit is not one rein stop. Yeah, just now keep driving. This is great. Good. See, home run right there. And then when you get down there to the corner, chances are he's going to want to turn left. So just think about turning left little bit, little bit, little bit. That's plenty. Now think about going down to the other gate. Now look a little towards his right ear. By looking towards his right ear, you're kind of looking over there to the right gate. Now he's kind of curling up and coming over here to the left, so don't break that thread. So don't break, yeah, that was good. Now you over kind of turned right there a little bit. Remember, when you commit to something, see it through. It's all right, he can come back down here. He just can't stop here. So just ride right here and continue down the fence. Little bit, do less. That looks good. Quieten the legs down a little bit. Now you held him a little there too long, Bill, so that's when he over-rotated. So you do a little bit less with that right hand. Because what's going to happen is he's going to curl up and just start to circle on you right there and think, well, I got paid for that. Now he's going to come try to hook up on me, and he's going to say, will you pay me if I go stand next to the fence next to Lester? If possible, let's try to get a little further down the arena, but not to the point that we get in an argument. Not to the point we get in an argument. Look a little to the left. That's excellent. Now just look straight and ride straight on. Excellent. Good. 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 Now look to the left. Surprise him. Okay, now you're done surprising him. If you can, Bill, go all the way to the end of the arena. Don't hold your correction too long, because if you hold it too long, he's going to overdo it. Suggest where you'd like to go. As soon as he finds it about halfway through, pay him, but not the whole check. This is good stuff. So now we're starting to see the horse turn loose of us and go somewhere that the rider would actually like to go. So for that horse, that's a big deal. Now turn a little to the left. Excellent. Now we're going to see some pretty stuff. So him and Star and Bill, they kind of had to work through who's really in charge here. So now Star's thinking, you know what? Bill just might be in charge. Now I know Star would like to come to his buddy. Now just look down here towards us and pick up a nice little trot. Put your hands nice and low. By golly, that looks good. Little hand, put your hands a little bit closer together. Continue trotting. Now let's take a look at that horse's ears. His ears are up and he's pretty happy. That's good, Bill. See if you can trot right through here. So shorten your left rein a little and look up, lift your sternum. How'd that feel? Yeah, look good. Use your voice aids a little through here. Not too much rain, not too much rain. By golly, this is looking good. He's even getting to where he can adjust his hat while he's riding. That's the mark of a true cowboy.